Yeah.
All right, so let's start. So next we have Paulo Henrique de Lima Santana, and his talk is Contributing with Debian Translations.
Hello there.
Paulo?
Thank you. We are okay? Yeah. So I'm Paulo from Brazil. I'm a member of the translation team in Brazil. We translate for Brazilian Portuguese. And a few days ago, I think on last Wednesday, someone came to talk with me about how to start translate Debian for Albanian. So he said that it was very difficult to find how to start a translation because the Albanian team is not working. They are not working for some years. And he said that he had written some instruction, but he couldn't understand very well what to do. So I sent this proposal to do this talk about how to translate Debian. It's a little bit improvised, but I think this can help some people that want to start to translate some Debian tools or Debian website. So basically, we have our website, debian.org, and if you go to debian.org/international, we have some instruction there what you can do for starting a translation. Today we have some teams working, or these teams had worked before. Some of them can be like stopped now, like stalled now. But most of them are working and translating, especially the website, the Debian website. If you want to help with one of these teams here, the good idea is you're looking for the mailing lists for your specific language, and you talk with the folks there to know how to start translate for that specific language. You can go to debian.org/international, and we'll find some links from there. Well, as I said, I'm a Brazilian Portuguese member, translation team. So here there is we wrote some instruction for Brazilians know how to start to translate. And for instance, this page is in English because this web browser is set up for English by default. But if I change for Portuguese, I can read this text in Portuguese. I believe you can find the same in other languages like French. Let's see the French. So it's in English, but if you go there, you can find the same text in your language in French. By default, as I said, by default, my web browser is for English, but if you go down, you can find some translations from some pages. Let me see another Italian. Italian, the same here. This is in English, but there is a translation for Italiano. And like here in Italian, they say what mailing list you need to access, what the documentation you need to read to start to help in translation. And there is another page, l10n.debian.org, and there you can find more instructions to help to translate. They explain what is internationalization and localization, and you can understand the difference between them. And there are some explanation how Debian works for internationalization and localization. So let me open this page here. This is the wiki page. We have more instruction on the wiki page about internationalization and localization. But I want to focus in this part here, what kind of translation you can do on Debian. So one of the things, to me, is one of the most important things, it translates the web pages. the web page from Debian.org. I think this is important because some people, people that don't speak English, usually they need to access the Debian website, and if you have the website translated for this language, it's very important because people can understand it better if the web pages are in their languages. I like to help on translating web pages, Debian web pages. I prefer to work on that. But some people like to translate wiki pages. On Debian Wiki, you can find a lot of technical tests, some tutorials you can find there, and it's very nice when people go there and translate it to their own languages. You can translate some documents, publicity in news. The publicity team use some websites to publish texts like Bits. Bits is our official web blog for Debian, and they usually, when I can open here, usually the texts the texts are always in English, and you can go there and translate for your own language. Like you hear this first news we have about DebConf welcomes its sponsors. We have a translation already. And as you can see here, it's translated. Was translated by Andreas. So you always looking for to recognize people that are helping to translate Debian stuff. So it's nice to put the name that people are translating or reviewing here. Let me see another. This is like this other news is translated for French too. In the same way, Jean-Pierre was translated by Jean-Pierre, and in the same way, we recognize people that are helping Debian. So translate bits from Debian. It's another nice thing to do. And we have micro news. We have press releases. This is basically the text published by the publicity team. We have DebConf templates, and when you are installing some software, sometimes some softwares can show a screen doing some question for you, or with box do you put some option. So these pages are translated by the teams too. So this is nice to have all these DebConf templates translated. They are not so much files, so usually it's a nice work to do. They are pure files, as you can see here. Pure files used to translate the DebConf templates for each language. Here you can find the languages. Let's see, Portuguese. If you have something there. Portuguese as spoken in Brazil. So this page shows the status of the translation of the PO files for Brazilian Portuguese. You can see some of them are updated, are new. Some of them are outdated. And in red, you can see some of them are not translated yet. And you can help your language your team to translate to these files. Yeah, sure.
I've got a question. Is this right that these DebConf templates also then went into the Debian installer? So if we want to have a translated Debian installer, people should start to work on certain packages on this DebConf templates.
Yeah, we have here the Debian installer.
Yeah, but there you say it's the installation guide of the installer. I mean the Debian installer itself. If we want to have this in a new language, is it the DebConf templates or?
No, it's a Debian installer specific files. There is some instruction here how to translate the installer. I think, let me see if, let me open the Portuguese here. Do not talk? Charles.
This DebConf files that he was talking about is like that pop-up screen, like when you are doing an apt install or apt upgrade, and it pop-ups a screen. Oh, we need to restart some services. Do you want to do it automatically, or do you want to? So that's the DebConf that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I know about the DebConf templates, but aren't the UDEP packages in the Debian installer also using the DebConf templates?
Yeah, I think so. I'm never the helper in this part, but here we can see templates DebConf. I don't remember the specific file for the installer.
Okay, but maybe just a comment. So if people want to start a new language and translate it, you have a long list, like maybe 8 to 10 items where you can start translating. I would be just, whoa, what a huge amount of work. So I would think, so if you are new to Debian and want to start a translation, just think about what were your first contact to the to the Debian project. Maybe the really first contact is the front page, www.debian.org. And it's also help if only this page will get translated. So you can easily start with one web page. And the other thing is then, because people want to download Debian and install it. So the next step would be help that the Debian installer is translated in your language. And then maybe look at the wiki pages, because in this list, the wiki page were listed at the second items, and I would say, no, this is at the very end. If you did everything else and you have a lot of time, then maybe translate the wiki pages. The web front page of the project and the installer, in my opinion, these are the most important things to translate where you can help us.
Yeah, I agree. When I was talking with the Albanian guy, I was showing to him how to do a translation web page, and I showed him how to translate the index file, the first page. And I said, as you said, you can start here, translate this page because it's the front page. And he said that he would try to do that. He was going to try to do that. I think it's a good way to start. Another thing that you have is package transcriptions. It's called DDTP project. Let me open here. So this is a good way to start too, because DDTP use a web tool that is very easy to work with it, and different from the website. You don't need to download any file and translate and upload files. The DDP use let me open here. DDTS. Here. A nice web font exists called DDTSS. So let me see. Let me show here. So the same way we have the languages that are used in this tool. I'm going to open the Portuguese again. I can see some messages from the admins for Brazilian Portuguese. And if I log in, I need to create a user. If you don't have, you need to create a user. I already have. So now I logged in as Paulo, and here like as I said, everything is done by this web page, this web tool, and the Brazilian team has some packages. Actually, a lot of packages pending to translate, but here we show 3. But you can look for any package that you want. in your team. We have some packages that are translated but need review. We usually work with one person translate and the two other person, two or three, two, right? Three other person review, and then the file is translated indeed, and then we can say okay, and the tool will send the translated file to the package. Okay. Let me open one here. Like, let's see, gedit. If I go here and, sorry? Okay. The cache show gedit. So if you do apt cache show gedit, we can see a lot of information, but what I want here is the description. Here is the long, this is the short and long description. So my terminal is in Portuguese, so my system is in Portuguese, but as you can see, the package is showing in English. So this package is not translated to Portuguese. If I do the same for another package, here the package BD, that I mean the packaging, the packager, you can see everything in Portuguese. So this package is translated, the description of this package is translated, but as I said, gedit is not yet. So what you want to do is translate this description. Return to here, we can see untranslated, the description, and the short description as the long description is not translated yet. So here are the tests in English, and I can put the translation in Portuguese here. I can do the same for the long description, and there is some translation already done here. Someone translated to Portuguese these days. Let me find another package, maybe Webpack. Okay. Webpack, someone started to translate, but is not done yet. This is the long description, and there is some small translation here, but they need to finish. So basically the idea is that you translated it and then you send to review, and in Brazilian case, three other folks will review and send okay, fix it or send okay for this package. Let me say another package that is pending for review. So I can see here that this package is translated, and three folks already reviewed, and this almost done for to be approved, and then the translator go to the package itself. So this is a good way to start to if you don't want to use any tool by yourself. You can just use the website DDTSS, and then you can have to translate packages for your language. Returning to the wiki, so you have MUM pages too. You can have to translate the MUM pages and some service that Debian has, but you can help to translate them as there is a long explanation here. In Portuguese, we wrote what service they are paying to translate to Portuguese. This is a list of priority for translation in Portuguese. And then we have some things as another documents or projects we wrote here as Debian Developers Reference, Debian Policy Manual, Dev Scripts, Debian Do, and some international pages are not translated yet. So we can help with, in the case of Brazilians, we can help you translate these things here. Yeah, please.
A question. Do you think translating the Debian policy manual, which is very detailed how we should or must package things, is there a need for it to translate it to a foreign language?
Yeah, to be honest, it's hard to translate it, especially because if you want to understand Debian deep, you would need to know at least a read in English. So we had the request to translate the Debian policy manual. The policy folks asked us to translate to Portuguese because you are sending some emails about that.
Again, the policy people ask you to translate it.
Yeah, there is an email.
Okay, but my question was, what's your opinion? Do you see a need for the translation? Are there, or how many users do you think need the Portuguese translation of the policy manual?
I think it would be nice, but
yes, it would. But
I put in the end of the list.
sorry that I'm that picky about this. Yeah, sure. Because my impression is in Debian we want to have everything. We want to have all things translated in every language. We want to make everything better, but we all know that this is too much work. And sometimes we start things, maybe we translate 2 man pages and then it stops. So, is it really needed, or should we just say to us, no, there's no need for it because we will never finish this thing. And is there a need for it? So how many people really needs the Portuguese translation of the policy manual?
Yeah. I agree with you. I think if you translate, if you think translate, it should be the end of the list. And it's important if you want to help Debian in deep. We need to read in English. You need to know how to read in English. For me, I don't think to help to translate the policy manual, to be honest, because I have other priorities as the website. But we listed here if someone wants to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, it's not about you.
I know.
What I like to do is in certain places where I'm active in Debian, to tell the people, please concentrate on the major things that are most important to our end users. And especially the policy manual, this is only for developers. And I think if you want to become a developer, you also need to speak English or can read English.
Yes, I do.
And since this is a very good example that the policy manual, having it in any other language, and how many people are speaking Portuguese? Maybe that's not that few. Yeah, sure. You're right. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. But I think I would just remove it from the list because if people start to translating and see a long list, you can do this and that, they get confused. So I think it would be much better to say, please, these are for us, or we think the most important things to translate. And the policy is at the very, very, very end of the list. Or please just do not make the list that long, just remove this. Because I would bet it will never happen in the next 20 years.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion.
I agree with you. And I think we should add to that wiki page from the internationalization.
What is it?
If you are starting to translate to your language now, you should focus on this and this and that. I agree. I think we should add that because the Brazilian team is a very specific case because we have a lot of things translated already. So, but for people just starting, we should add that.
Yeah, and again, just listing the policy manual does not make any sense. And maybe it took like 2 minutes for someone to add this to the list of what we want to translate. And this was a waste of time to list the policy manual. And it's a question where to draw the line. But yeah, please focus. And the time you spend into translating, put it in more useful things than listing things that will never happen or are not useful at all.
Thanks. So, as I said, I like to help you with web pages from their website. And, well, I can show you very quickly how to translate our web page. I downloaded it. Okay, let me open Salsa here. I think it's important to show Salsa. Here. Where's the Brazilian? Here. In Portuguese, you have a tutorial how to translate web pages. Everything is in Portuguese. So I'm not sure how the other teams works. If they, probably I'm sure some of them have nice tutorials too. But here's the repository of the web pages. We call web WML because the files are in this done in web WML. So this is the main repository. You need to clone to download the repository, and then so this is the web page website repository. For Portuguese, following the tutorial, I need to export my language for Portuguese. Export a variable to Portuguese, and then I can start translating a specific page that is not translated yet. I already know the page is here. It's a user web page. Consultant a user page not translated yet for Portuguese. And so I want to translate this file from a company. So English, oops. English users com. So I know this file is not translated to Portuguese yet, and I can use this script to copy the file from English, put the file on the Portuguese folder, and set up the number of the commit that I need to use for uploading the file. Okay, it say that the file is there. Let's see. Portuguese user con cosmetic. So we have here the same file than in English, not translated yet, but that script added this line with the commit number of the English file. We need to use that because these scripts will verify if this commit number is the same of the English. It means the file is translated. So I already translated it here. I'm copy from Portuguese. I remove the English translation. In Portuguese, he is Varsóvia, Polônia. Okay, so basically now I did the Portuguese translation for this file. We have some steps to do that I will not do. I will not do here because it needs some time. But basically, first I need to say to the Portuguese folks that I want to translate this file. There are some pseudo URLs that you can find on the Brazilian information. Probably the other teams do the same. Let me find here. So this is our pseudo URLs, and we need to say first before translate. I need to warn folks in Brazil that I intend to translate that file. So I should have sent an email saying to the Brazilian mailing list, "Hey folks, I will translate this file." So I put ITT on the subject, and I can wait some days to see if someone else has some comment or not. And then I do the translation, and then I send this file that I translated now to the mailing list, say with change the subjects for RFR. That means request for review. So when I send this file to the mailing list, Brazilian mailing list, someone will be able to review my translation, make some comments, make some suggestions, or fix something that is wrong in Portuguese, and then we will start to talk. For instance, Charles, that's here, can say, maybe the translation for this word is better use this in Portuguese, or you have some typo, you typed something wrong in your translation in Portuguese, and then we'll talk about that when we finish these steps. I can send a LCFC, let's change for comments, to see if someone has something to change, and if everything is done, people that has access to upload the file can upload the file to the repository. For instance, I can upload the files to our repository, and then I send an email saying that's done. I'm jumping these steps here because I just want to have idea how to do that. So if you had followed all these steps, request for review, request for last comments, and then everything is done, I can send the file to the repository indeed. I'm not sure how the other teams works, if they follow these steps or they just upload the file and review later. And then the file is gone. And in a few hours, there is a script running on the website, and then this Portuguese file will be updated there, and we will see the translation there on the website for this page that I showed you here. Well, if you want to know how your team works on this case, it's very important that you access the mailing lists of your team. In lists.debian.org, you can see internalization and translations. And you have a lot of specific language web mailing lists here. And you can enter and, let's see, French, like French localization. They are changed emails there. Okay, they follow the same idea than us. As you can see, request for review. Jean-Pierre sent the request. He was translating a PO file. Here, let me see. This is a done. So he finished translate this file to French, and then he is saying in English that everything is done here for translation. If you want to start a new team, it's a good idea you enter on the main mailing list. That is this one here, Deb I18N, and send a message that you want to start a new language translation. The Albanian guy that talked with me sends his name. He sent me that he wants to translate to Albania, and he requested access to the Salsa repository to write it there, and a new DTSS language for Albanian, and the folks are helping him to start the new translation for Albanian. He said that he wants to form a group there on the Hackspace, at the Hackspace, and this group started to translate for his language. It's very nice to do because we don't need to have technical skills to help with translation. Maybe that part that you need to clone the repository, you need to know to do something different, some more specific commands here. But as I showed you, using helping on description, package, and translation, don't need to know anything special to use the tool. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's everything that I had to say. I forgot to see the RC channel. Let me see if I can see something there. Yeah. Someone is talking about the Debian policy. Someone said that Debian policy can use for other language people to package for other distribution based on Debian. Let me see. Debian installing translation on the web late now, I think. Bitten said that. Okay, let's open here to see if some parts of the Debian they are using web translate tool, weblate.org tool, a tool. Bitten said that Debian installer translator. Yeah, this is a nice tool to help on translations, but it's a free software tool, but you can use the original hosted by the provider. Let me see in Portuguese if you have something here. No, Portuguese, Brazilian maybe. No. Yeah, Debian installer is here, but I'm not sure how to Debian installer. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
I have a question. Do you know if some translation teams are using the help of online translators? So most of the text maybe should be translated by a computer and then only review this?
I don't know. I know. At the microphone.
So you said it depends on the team, but you don't know if teams are using it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too. In Portuguese, we are not using. Um, some people I know they can use it for by themselves, like to translate the web pages, but not a common tool to everybody.
Okay, I didn't knew about this web plate thing. I think that's really nice because this makes things easier for users that want to help with translation and do not know anything about Git and so on. So that's why I also want to say, even I said, or I asked some very strange questions, I want to encourage people to come on, and if you like to translate, help us. And there's no need for everything that you can use Git and so on. There are some projects like the translation for the Debian installer or the package descriptions. That's also very nice. You can use a web interface and help with translating.
Yeah, it's very easy. Paulo would like to talk.
Yeah, for machine translation, there's this software that's called libritranslate.org. You can host it on your machine yourself if you want. It's Libre Translate.
Okay.
Yeah, translate.org. And it works pretty well. I've used it for a bunch of stuff. It's all free software. The first one. Is it? Yes, so you got a bunch of them. There's an API if you want. The API is super easy to use. Depending on the instances, you'll be rate limited. So it depends, and it works pretty well in a bunch of languages. I've used it for like complex text, some things very technical too. I think it's a good idea to use this as a first pass, and then somebody can review it. It makes translating stuff much faster.
Yeah. I like to use some tools because, especially to avoid typos, so you translate using the tool, and then you make a review to see everything is okay, or there are some phrases that make no sense. You don't need to translate, you don't need to type the translate from the beginning. You can use some tool, especially to avoid typos when you translate for your language. Well, I think that is it.
Any last question? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Someone asked on the
Just now.
ATZ Linux, asked on the RC, could Debian set up one official website? I think so. I know that some projects are using the official website because the tool have some limits. But if you say that you are translating for a project, a free software project, for instance, they unlock all the tools for use there with no limits. We started to test for translate some PR files for Portuguese, and it was very easy to ask them to unlock the limitations. So if you can use the official website, I think it's good. I think you don't need to have our own instance for that. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and translation. All right, thank you.